Welcome to another episode of Totspot, the show where we give our personal tier list in a predetermined topic. Today's topic, top 3 intros in gaming. We have the usual suspects. We have Tony.
What's going on, guys?
Andersinio.
The main resident guest.
And CJ.
Hey, the drunken gamer's back.
And of course, myself, Ams.
Okay.
Let's get into this.
Cool. So
who's starting? Who do you want to start?
We should start with. Well, you both went second last time, so doesn't really matter. Let's go alphabetically. Let's start with Andan. Give us your third game.
I was gonna say, okay. Well, first of all, I just want to say that I know what Tony's gonna put down at least.
Oh, yeah, actually, let's do this now. Let's do this now.
Honestly, he's so predictable at this stage.
Okay. That's fair. I bought this on myself, but anyway, what I want to say, basically, well, we think that we can guess a game that's on each person's list. So, Andan's pretty much gonna say his game that he thinks is on my list. So let's hear it, Andan. Let's go.
2 games, but I'm trying to think. Which one should I? Okay, you know what? First one I'm gonna go with. For Tony, Final Fantasy 7.
Tony, don't tell us the answer.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But your silence alone tells me that.
No. Anyway,
you want to put
that? I want to guess. Wait, do I want to say if it's right or not, or what you say?
No, just say any guess, and then when I've got my 5.
Okay, my guess for Andan is Metal Gear Solid 2.
So we can leave it there. Okay.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Good choices.
We'll leave it there.
And then go then. You start us off. Let's go first. Let's hear what you got to say.
Right.
What's your number 3?
So my number 3 is one of the Tomb Raiders from the reboot, and it's Rise of the Tomb Raider. And I think out of all of the Tomb Raiders, even though all of them have amazing cinematic openings, I just think that the Rise of the Tomb Raider, this one just goes just a little bit above and beyond from the other ones.
Is that the one in the snow?
Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah. You start off at the cave. You come out, you see sunshine, it's a snowstorm. They start off showing some of the new mechanics, using, I think, the pickaxes to climb up the ice mountain and stuff like that. And some massive leaps and some massive jumps. And as you said, there's an avalanche at the end as well. And it's just a frantic race to get out of the wreckage and all of that. And Tomb Raider is known for what the new Tomb Raiders are known for, a lot of their over-the-top cinematic experiences. But this one, to start a game, the first 10 minutes, no music or anything, just wind sounds and stuff like that. And just to open the game like that, like, it was definitely a defining moment for that game. And I definitely think it's one of them games that you have to play. Like, you have to try out Rise of the Tomb Raider if you get a chance. But yeah, that's my number 3.
That's mad. I'm surprised it's number 3 because that's actually a really good one. I played it recently, and for me that's a great start. If anything was to tell me to continue playing that game, it was that start there. Good choice.
Yeah, definitely. I've always thought that.
I'll give you that one.
Rise of the Tomb Raider is the best out of the 3, definitely for me as well.
Yeah, so
very good opening. Very good opening. My third game is Mass Effect 2. I don't know if any of you have actually played this game. But let me just.
Sorry, because Tony plays every game in the world.
Stop being silly. No, just your reaction. Just your reactions. It was just like, okay, I don't know if anyone's actually played this, but let me just give you a bit of backstory, pretty much. Yeah. So imagine. So pretty much, the first Mass Effect goes down. You're fighting a Reaper. Which is like a really big enemy in the game. You take it out. This is like throughout the whole game, it's been building up to this. So that's the first game, right? It's like, yes, we won. The second game starts. We've waited. Like the people that played the first one have waited like 5 years to play this game now. Yeah, the second one. How in the first 5 minutes is your ship getting blown up and you die? Like the character that because you could import your character from the first one to the second one. Yeah. You're like, oh yes, I'll get to play with the same character. You die, bro, in the first 5 minutes. Your ship, your whole team almost gets wiped out. You don't even know what's happened to them. Like it's nuts. So that's so yeah, that's the reason. That's on my top 3.
Is that what they run? You run through the ship and that, and then
so you're basically getting everyone.
And you lose your oxygen.
yeah, that is that one. It's exactly that one.
Man, that is a painful start, bro. That was the sort of one that would make me not want to play it. I'm surprised.
So yeah.
That's like getting your player on FIFA and like you think, oh yeah, man, I'm gonna have my same score again. It's gonna be like a 90. You get there and he's like 67. Like what? That's not fair.
It wasn't as heavy for me because I didn't play the first one, so I was like, okay, can I get into this, please?
No, trust me, it's dreadful if you played the first one. Oh man, but yeah, that's my number 3.
Okay, and then back to you.
Okay. So my number 2, you know what? I'm gonna give you a chance to guess this one. Yeah, I'll give you a clue. It's a Call of Duty.
Oh wow!
But which one?
It's not Modern Warfare.
All of them.
Just training. So it's got to be.
I'm gonna go for Infinite Warfare.
Okay, Kieran. Any guesses?
All of them.
Is it Black Ops? Can I get
choose one?
Black Ops.
Okay. And then what's Kieran's guess?
I'll be a bad guy to not say Modern Warfare 2 because that's
for intro, yeah. Okay, whoa, you're all wrong, mate. You're all wrong.
Oh yeah.
Don't say 3. One. Okay.
It's Modern Warfare 1.
Training.
Wow.
Who's doing training?
No. So it begins with the training. You do the basic training. That alone is. Well, I just remember trying to redo it again to get your time lower and all of that.
Definitely
addictive. The first mission when you get
Someone struggled. Someone struggled.
Is that first mission when you get onto the ship and it starts teaching you about sniping and stuff like that, and then you actually get inside the ship.
Oh yeah.
And shooting at people, and then it starts to capsize the boat and everything.
Oh yeah,
you gotta get out.
That's a
madness special.
Absolute madness. That mission, man.
That mission is iconic. It's actually an iconic one.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You
stabbing them up in bed.
Sorry?
I was just saying when you're stabbing them up when they're in bed.
Yeah. Listen,
love that part.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 1. That intro is an iconic introduction to the game. Yeah. So. Yeah, and it's just like a frantic race when the boat's on its side, you're running down, and then you jump onto the helicopter at the end and everything. Like, it's a sick intro, yeah. So that's my number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't lie to you, yeah, I played that one on hardcore, realistic, or whatever it was, and I missed the helicopter jump at the end. I was so rattled.
No.
You missed the jump.
I was thinking, I'm home free. This was so cool. I think I had to like spin or something just to act cool, and I died, and I had to do the whole mission again. So yeah,
I didn't even think of that mission. When I thought I called it Modern Warfare, I thought the training at the beginning.
You start off with training, but then straight after, then you go into the
his first mission, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's iconic, man. Okay, let's go back to Tony for his number 2.
Okay, so my number 2, it's not really a level. It's more, it kind of is, but it's more just the first cutscene just kind of set the tone, and I just feel like I need to set the tone for you guys as well for my number 2. My number 2 is BioShock. Bioshock. Oh my god. Now let me just set the tone again. Imagine I'm like, this game came out in around 2007. So I would have been around 13 years ago. I would have been like 16. I would have been probably looked about that age. But anyway, yeah. So I would have been about 16 at the time. Probably like when I would have played it anyway. I probably wouldn't have played it as soon as it came out. But mate, I just remember. I think I played that game at night. That was the worst decision I've ever fucking made in my life. Oh my gosh! Everybody here knows about that game. The Big Daddies, yeah. Oh my god! But not even him, just Andrew Ryan himself. The speech that he gives at the beginning of the game, I can't even remember it now, but it's something like something about sweat on brows and stuff like that. And when this guy says rapture, I'm just like, this is about to be a game. So yeah, from there, just play the first level of that game, and you'll realize that set the tone for all these suspenseful and cinematic games that we have now. So yeah, that's my number 2 pick.
Good pick.
Give it that.
Okay. And next, we're gonna go back to Tony for him to give his honorable mentions.
Okay, well, my honorable mentions are kind of cop-outs, really. My first honorable mention is The Last of Us. That's just like, come on. The Last of Us. Everybody, like, that one is just like, I have to put it there. I almost have to put it there because it was just like, I've never played an opening like that in my life. Like, where I actually started crying for a girl that I don't even know, like, her second name at the time. So it's just like...
Oh, convenient. The first time you started crying, really?
Bro, nah, that game was special. That game did something to me.
He cried when Woody didn't go back to the party. But
I'm starting to think that you, man, are playing that Buzz.
Nah,
and then when you start crying,
you lot are monsters. You lot are monsters. If you didn't tear up, I'm telling you,
it made me sad. I'll give you that.
It made me. Do you know what? It's the acting as well. It's the acting. If it wasn't for the acting and the way they pulled it off, then I don't think it would have cut it the way that it did. Like, you know, like one of these any games where the acting wouldn't have been as good. So yeah, that's my honorable mention. And my second one is not, and it's not because we were just talking about this game, I promise you. That's why I kind of stayed quiet when this game was mentioned. Literally just before we went live, which is Sleeping Dogs. That game, that game, I didn't actually play it when it came out originally. I played it later on. And I think I played it when it was out on PS4. So I've just booted up the game. I'm like, okay, I think it came through with PS Plus at the time, probably. I booted up the game. I'm like, okay, this game actually feels good. Like, it's tight and stuff like that. The graphics weren't great, but it was like, okay, cool. The first level was just fun because you're running away from the police when you're trying to like pull off a drug deal or something like that. I'm just like, okay, yeah, this could be a cool game. The cutscene after you get caught and you find out he's a police officer, I'm just like, what the hell? What is this? What have I got myself into? And from there,
the deception.
Nah, I was just like, nah, that's a good twist just to start off with. So now I would definitely say that's my second honorable mention.
Yeah, I'll do that though. That running through is just quite cool.
Yeah.
The parkour was actually quite good in that game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, let's go over to Andan.
Okay.
Honorable mentions.
My 2 honorable mentions. My first one is Portal 2. So this one I played on my PC. I don't even know why you are laughing.
I've never played it. I have no opinion.
No, I completed that game. I just.
Oh wow! You're giggling like that.
I didn't expect him to say Portal 2. Like, what the hell? Portal 2.
We're not gonna get these games because no one will get that.
I know the intro. I remember the intro. Yeah.
I think also you start off in a nice little building or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's a little robot that comes out and he basically tells you to look up and look down and look left and right, stuff like that. And then the building just gets destroyed.
Yeah.
And for me, it's Wheatley, the character that's telling you to go around, like the jokes that he comes up with and all of that kind of stuff. And
he's the guy that's on the Ricky Gervais show, by the way.
Yeah.
How is it?
Yeah. The tall, lanky guy.
Yeah. Stephen Merchant,
The glasses.
Yeah, it's a jokes introduction to a game kind of thing, innit? And it kind of sets the scene for the game, so like sets the tone for the game. The game's very trolly and stuff like that. So it sets the scene. So yeah, Portal 2 is one of my honorable mentions. And the other honorable mention obviously has to be FIFA 20. So,
I knew it was going to say FIFA.
This guy.
You're actually
Oh
sick.
my god. No, honestly, yeah, I'm sitting there like, I'm gonna say FIFA, but I don't want to ruin it for him. I know that's what I'm like, and then the tap to say FIFA was a great opening scene.
Honorable mention.
I'm joking. My other game is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Okay.
Ooh, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Amalek was gonna say. Damn it. Ooh.
Yeah, the starting of the game, that is a game in itself.
I'm telling
honestly.
you, that was nuts.
Yeah.
I can't lie. Yeah.
Do you want to know the funny thing? When
What?
me and Andam were speaking about this,
Yeah,
I
you said it last week.
the
Yeah.
game I'm not going to
I
pick.
kept quiet.
And he kept quiet. He knew from then he was going to pick it. I said I was going to, but I'm not going to anymore. And he just kept quiet.
Oh man.
Oh, but yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5, but just there's so much that happens in that
telling you.
first half an hour to an hour.
Don't even play the game. Don't even play the game. Just play that opening. Oh.
Just play the introduction and then delete the game. That's all you need to do.
Yeah.
Just
Play the game.
No,
Play all
don't
the
play the
game.
game. Don't play the game.
Play the game.
Yeah, honestly, like I can't even explain it. Like it's something like you just need to either watch it or you need to experience it. It's just so good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's my second honorable mention. So yeah,
Strong titles, guys. Strong titles. But we're on to the big one now. Let's
Crunch
go
time.
back to Andan. Correct.
you know what? Yeah, I would laugh if Tony gets this one. Yeah, but I don't think he will in it. But funny enough, we were literally just talking about this game before the podcast started. Yeah,
Okay.
and this game is Gears of War 1.
Alright.
Once again, I kept quiet when you lot were talking about Gears. And like, what's Gears? Like,
You're not serious. Oh man.
yeah, Gears. It was my first game on Xbox 360, and literally like because Xbox 360 was the console I had for that generation, and for me that just like showed what new generation was back then. And the beginning is it's just coming out of a cell, and then you have to shoot some locusts and stuff like that. But getting hold of that, I think what's it called, the Lancer, and using that chainsaw for the first time, oh my days, that is it's comparable to the axe on God of War. Like it's just so good using that chainsaw in it. It was just jumping into the world and seeing it for the first time. It was just an amazing experience, man. Gears of War 1, I had to put it in. Had to.
Yeah, I won't lie, the characters look greasy in that game, bro. I don't know what it was about them, but all their suits and that, it was great.
They look like superheroes.
Yeah.
Funny enough, playing that game, I played it with my cousin. I went to my cousin's house, and we played the whole campaign co-op. And at the time, I remember saying, we finished the game, and I remember saying to him, that is my favorite game that I've ever played. That was at the time. And he was like, are you being serious? He didn't rate the game. He was older than me, so he was probably a bit more like
He was probably in the 70s, 80s.
At that time,
He would have been like 10 years younger than me.
nah, Nah, I don't know what game was better than that at that time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was definitely a co-op as well. Mate, I'll never forget that experience that I had with my cousin. Shout out Kevin. but yeah, my number one is
Fantasy. Go on.
a game that I've been speaking about. I've been speaking about it. I've been speaking about it today. My game is God of War.
Okay.
I'm with this
I
guy.
feel like we forced to push it into that direction. That was not the game.
But let me tell you something. It's not the one you think. It's God of War 3. God of War 3. Tell me that opening is not one of the best openings in gaming ever. And I'll tell you you're lying, and you wouldn't even be able to. that simply, huh? Go on.
I'll tell you how good it was. It was gonna be my number one, but now you've chosen it. I'm gonna change it. Such a good opening.
I'm telling you now. Imagine coming from the PS2 where the graphics were all right and stuff like that, and then that just comes on the PS3. And the funniest thing is, I didn't own the game. I actually had to go to like one of my neighbors' houses to play it because I don't even think I had a PS3 at the time.
Oh, convenient. No, times have changed. Now Tony's rich. You can buy every console in the world and time to buy two of them. But you know, he's gonna tell you about these hard times.
Oh,
I'm using my fingers
yeah.
to air quote hard times he went through.
but yeah, like I just remember he had a massive TV as well. Just plugged it in. He was like, "No, Tony, you need to play this game." I was like, "Cool, let me play it." I think I played halfway through the game. just when I started. I wasn't meant to stay there for that long, but I stayed there for very long. That opening is simply one of the greatest. It's on PlayStation now. If anyone's got it, just download the remaster and play through the first level. Doesn't even matter. You don't need to play the previous ones. Just play through that first level. Best in gaming. In my opinion.
Tony, can we ask you? Did you finish that and go home and cry yourself to sleep? Because we know you're in the business of crying, right? You know, so we just gotta find out. We gotta check on our friends. We have to check in.
No. But seriously, just play that. I mean, like, do you have anything to say about that? It's just,
it's just amazing, man. It's not what you expected at the time. Something so epic to be on PS3. Like,
I'm telling
that
you.
generation. Not everyone was doing that. They just done something no one else was doing, and oh boy,
I'm telling you, fantastic.
I played number 2.
Yeah, that was a good opening as well.
Good game, but this opening and that game as a whole is what made me fall in love with Kratos. So beautifully angry, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Good choice, Tony. We'll give you that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point to finish on. So who do we think? I mean, out of the total 3 overall, who would we say he's got the best choice there? A total winner.
I think they're both great lists, to be honest. They're both great lists. I don't think there is a winner. I think it's just
a good list.
2 good lists.
I don't know. To be fair, I know they're good lists. I just wanted to call Tony the loser today. But I am who I am, you know. But yeah, good stuff. Thanks for listening, guys. Once again, always kind of just putting your comments there about your list and whether you think that their choices were the right choices in order 1, 2, and 3. Whether you think there's a different number 1 that you put in there instead. And then the same as always, kind of like and subscribe and put that notification on. So whenever we do release content, you're first to see it and first to know it's on. And thanks again.
Peace.
Cool.